Hello everyone, welcome again to Maths Guide. My previous video was about fractions and its types, and now in lecture 2 you will be able to learn how to compare fractions in detail. Comparing fractions involves determining which fraction is larger or if they are equal. Here are some steps to compare fractions, but before that I shall explain you two basic terms usually used in fractions, that are like and unlike fractions and equivalent fractions. So let's start. For like and unlike fractions, we compare two or more fractions by comparing their numerators. As you can see, there are some fractions. They can be proper or improper, but you will notice that all fractions have same denominators. So that is the point of comparison. Like fractions have same denominators and unlike fractions have different denominators. So if you can identify like fractions from the given set of fractions, write in comment section. Another important term which is used in comparison of fractions is equivalent fractions. These fractions look different but have same value. How? Let's see. As you can see, there are two fractions, 3/5 and 6/10. Here 3 parts are shaded out of 5 equal parts, and here 6 parts are shaded out of 10 equal parts. As equal portions are shaded in both figures, it means both are equivalent fractions. There is another method also. We can multiply numerator and denominator with the same number. We can also get equivalent fractions. I will later explain you in this video. Here we are going to compare like fractions. To compare them, there is no need of any calculations. Just compare numerators. The fraction with greater numerator will be greater. I shall explain you through diagrams. If you draw figures for both fractions, you can easily notice first fraction is smaller than other. So we can say 1/3 is less than 2/3. Here we have another example. If we compare their numerators, you can see 6 is greater than 3. So we can say 6/7 is greater than 3/7. Now we are going to compare unlike fractions. In first fraction, denominator represents 3 total parts, and in second fraction, denominator represents 9 total parts. So we shall find an equivalent fraction of 1/3 whose denominator is 9. As you know, 3 times 3 is 9, so we shall multiply both numerator and denominator with 3, and what we get is 3/9. It means 3/9 is an equivalent fraction of 1/3. Now start comparing these two fractions. We will simply compare their numerators. As 3 is greater than 2, it means 3/9 is greater than 2/9. As this 3/9 is an equivalent fraction of 1/3, so we can say 1/3 is greater than 2/9. This is how we can easily compare unlike fractions. Another example for you. Follow these steps. Step 1. Find equivalent fractions to make them like fractions. Step 2. Compare their numerators. Step 3. Write using symbols or simply write greater than or less than between fractions. Now I have these two fractions, and I have to find out an equivalent fraction of 3/7 whose denominator is 35. As you know, 7 times 5 is 35. So multiply both numerator and denominator by 5 to get an equivalent fraction of 3/7, that is 15/35. Now they are like fractions as their denominators are equal. Now start comparing their numerators. As 2 is less than 15, we can easily say first fraction is less than second fraction. By comparing original fractions, we can easily say 2/35 is less than 3/7. As you know, our first step is to find equivalent fractions to make them like fractions. But here, as you can see, 4 is not a multiple of 7 and 7 is not multiple of 4. Then how can we make them like fractions with same denominators? First common multiple will help us. Don't worry. it's very easy to find first common multiple. We will simply write multiples of 4 and 7. As 28 is the common multiple, so we can say 28 is our first common multiple. So the denominators of both fractions should be 28. Take first fraction. As you know, 4 times 7 is 28. So multiply both numerator and denominator by 7 to get an equivalent fraction whose denominator is 28. Just like this, multiply second fraction by 4. Now we have equivalent fraction of 3/4 and 2/7 whose denominators are same. Start comparing their numerators. As 21 is greater than 8, so it means first fraction is greater. That is 3/4 is greater than 2/7. Here we have an easiest way to compare unlike fractions. There is no need to find equivalent fractions, and this method is called cross multiplication method. To compare them, first step is to multiply numerator of first fraction with denominator of second fraction and numerator of second fraction with denominator of first fraction. This is called cross multiplication. We will multiply this 3 by 7 and we get 21, and we will multiply this 5 by 6 and we get 30. Remember, this 21 is for first fraction and this 30 is for second fraction. As you can see, this 21 is less than 30. So we can easily say that 3 by 6 is less than 5 by 7. I hope you find it very simple and easy. If we are able to compare two fractions, then we can also compare more than two fractions and also arrange them in ascending and descending order. Ascending order means arranging fractions from smallest to greatest, and descending order means arranging fractions from greatest to smallest. Here I have a set of like fractions. We will simply compare their numerators and arrange them in ascending and descending order very easily. In this example, we have a set of unlike fractions but same numerators. For comparing fractions with same numerators but different denominators, keep in mind the fraction with greatest denominator will be the smallest fraction. It means 2/18 is the smallest fraction and 2/3 is the greatest one. So their arrangement in ascending order and descending order will be like this. As you already know the steps of comparing unlike fractions, we find first common multiple or LCM of denominators to make them like fractions. To make them like fractions, we have to find LCM of 4, 8, and 12. And the LCM is 24. As you know, 4 times 6 is 24, 8 times 3 is 24, and 12 times 2 is 24. Following the rule of equivalent fractions, we can make common denominators. Now we have three new fractions. Now simply compare their numerators and arrange them in ascending or descending order. Comparison of fraction is very useful in everyday situations like comparing distances, times, prices, sizes, recipe measurements, discounts and sales, and geometry. Overall, the ability to compare fractions is a fundamental mathematical skill that supports more advanced mathematical concepts and practical decision making. If you like this video and want to learn more about fractions, do like and subscribe my channel. Next lecture will be about mixed number is conversion and applications. Thank you.